What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. This one's going to be on the Dallas Cowboys. So you wonder which free agents going to sign. Are they going to re-sign Tony Pollard? Are they going to franchise tag Tony Pollard? You have Connor McGovern at guard. You have Donovan Wilson at safety. You have Van Der Esch. You have Terrence Armstrong. Neville Gallimore's going to be coming up soon. Trayvon Diggs. CeeDee Lamb coming up on their fifth-year options. Or at least CeeDee Lamb. Trayvon Diggs was only a 4-year guy. He was second-round pick still. They're going to pay those guys what they're going to do. Dalton Schultz. Noah Brown. What are you going to do with Noah Brown? Cowboys have a new running back coach, promoted assistant offensive line coach, Jeff Blasco. So we'll see how he does. What are you going to do with Ezekiel Elliott? You're going to continue to pay him monstrous amount of money for subpar production. Van Der Esch had a great year. Are you going to overpay him when you have the two young linebackers along with Micah Parsons and could possibly draft a Drew Saunders, one of those type of guys? Nate Herbig out of Wisconsin. Whatever you decide to do. You got Damone Clark. You got last year, it was a steal. You got the kid from the year before, Jabril Cox, who looks like a steal. What are you going to do with those guys? Is Kelvin Joseph going to develop? What are you going to do with Anthony Brown? You have Israel Makwamu, who's young and coming along. You have the young safeties from last year. You also have to make a decision on quarterback. Obviously. You're going to keep Cooper Rush. You're going to keep Will Grier. Are you going to make Will Grier your backup and just say sayonara to Cooper Rush? Dak is going to be coming up next year on another contract extension. You're going to go ahead and extend him, or are you going to say we're going to see how this plays out and either screw ourselves again with another 4-year, $160 million, way too much contract for a quarterback who only has a couple playoff wins in his time in Dallas? Or are you going to say, let's wait it out, try to get as much talent around him now as we can, and then decide next year before his contract's up, go ahead and extend him or just let him walk out the door? Are you going to draft his successor? You can get maybe Tanner McKee out of Stanford in the second round. I really like that kid. Max Duggan, third or fourth round. You can get Clayton Tune out of Houston. Hendon Hooker and all of them are probably going to be gone. Maybe they fall a second round. But you're not going to get C.J. Stroud. There's a rumor that the Cowboys are interested in C.J. Stroud. I'm sure you could get him, but what are you going to have to give up to get him? Because you're going to probably have to pick him between 1 and 5. Chiefs, for example, when they drafted Patrick Mahomes, traded a first round, I think a second and a third, and next year's first or something, to move up to 10. So then you want to get farther than that. What are you going to have to give up? A player? You're going to give up a CeeDee Lamb? You're going to give up a Micah Parsons, a Trayvon Diggs? Are you going to give up one of those guys for, I'd be willing to trade Sam Williams to move up and get him because he's a bonehead. But I don't think anybody's going to want him as talented as he is. So the chances, I feel, of them getting C.J. Stroud are not very good. Plus, you have another problem. According to Pro Football Focus and other places like Draft Hat, Walter Football, one of C.J. Stroud's problems, he's great. Yeah, he's got great receivers, great tight ends, Great players surrounding him at Ohio State with Ryan Day. Good coaching. When you get pressure on him, his accuracy drops from 93 or 97% to about 49%. That's not good. And in Dallas, he's going to feel a lot of it. You have questions at tackle. Tyron Smith. Is Tyler Smith the guy? Maybe. He could regress. Mekhi Becton looked great his first year. Hasn't been able to stay healthy since. Hasn't been as consistent. You really don't know. You have Terrence Steele coming off an injury. You have Tyler Biadasz, pretty good, solid. You have Alec Lindstrom. You don't know what he's going to be. Maybe he takes it. Brock Hoffman. You have Mac Fronick. Don't know what he's going to be at guard. Connor McGovern, he might be gone. Never really saw him much at guard. I thought he was going to be a good guard. Maybe the Cowboys' offensive line coach sucks. Maybe we should have kept Mark Colombo. He did a very good job with that group. Zach Martin's getting older. Tyron Smith's getting older. I'd draft another tackle. You don't know what Matt Velasco is going to be. You don't know about Josh Ball. Are they going to end up being something? You got a lot of unknowns on the offensive line right now. It reminds me back of when we went through the 2010 through 13 season when we were just starting to get Travis Frederick. We had Phil Costa, who was pretty decent center. Tyron Smith, we just drafted in 11. And then we get Zach Martin and Doug Free and then Ronald Leary. And it all just came together. You had Smith at tackle, left tackle. You had Ronald Leary at guard. You had Travis Frederick at center. Zach Martin at right guard. And then you had Doug Free at right tackle. And then Jeremy Parnell played well. And you were fixed. And then Free retired and you started getting shifty. But you had Lyle Collins. He was able to do right tackle for a long period of time. You were solidified. Then Tyron Smith starts getting hurt. Didn't really replace him. Travis Frederick has his disease. He went out come back, and then figured out I need to retire. Ronald Leary left in free agency. Never really replaced him. Zach Martin's been the only consistent one. Lyle Collins started getting hurt. Started dropping off. You never really re-bolstered or re-solidified that offensive line, just like the defensive line. You know, when DeMarcus Ware and company retired, now DeMarcus Lawrence, you also have him. DeMarcus Lawrence, what do you do with him? You let him walk or you pay him? I would love to have CJ Stroud, don't get me wrong. But what am I giving up to get him? When I can get a Jake Haener later on, I still have Dak Prescott on a fairly decent contract, even though I think it's overpaid. I could get a Tanner McKee, who could end up being a stud. Clayton Tune, who's been really good. Max Dugan, who Jerry Jones apparently loves. If maybe a Hendon Hooker falls or a Anthony Richardson falls, one of those guys. I don't want Bryce Young. The Will Levis isn't going to fall that far. But I don't like Bryce Young. He's my least favorite of the top quarterbacks. I just don't like him. He's not Drew Brees. There's no indication he's going to be Drew Brees. And with Alabama, he had a really bad season this past season. Subpar compared to Stroud, Levis, and others. I just don't love Bryce Young. Maybe I'm wrong, but reminds me too much of Tua. And I thought Tua was better than Bryce Young. You know, Jalen Hurts was better than Bryce Young. Just my opinion. Take it, leave it, throw it in the trash, whatever you want to do with it. Tight end position. We sticking with Ferguson and McEwen. Dalton Schultz, is he going to leave? We're going to sign him to a big contract. What do we do at running back in the draft? Linebacker. Defensive line help for Micah Parsons. Could have had George Karlaftis last year. We get Sam Williams. He hasn't really played out. For a second-round pick, haven't seen enough. And he's already boneheaded off the field. So that doesn't help. Do you go after Lucas Van Ness in later rounds, second, third, fourth round? Got to start thinking defensive line. We had John Ridgway, screwed that up. He's in D.C. now. So just too many questions, and I feel like they don't know what the heck they're doing. They have just enough to make the playoffs, but not enough to get that push. And by the time we do get either the quarterback's getting hurt, like Tony Romo in his later years, or Dak Prescott's getting hurt. Now, you have injury questions with Dak Prescott. Obviously, Ezekiel Elliott's getting hurt. Pollard now coming off an injury. Now they figured out how to use him. I don't know. I feel like as long as Jerry Jones is running the show, it's not going to go well. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Plenty more talk. We'll go over more draft picks that I would like to see them get in the first, second round. And you can disagree with me if you like, or agree with me. But we got a lot of videos to get to. Free agency coming up shortly. So I've got a lot of catching up to do. Osiris Torrance is a draft pick I would like at guard. Maybe we keep McGovern, and he's the replacement for Zach Martin at some point. I don't know. Got a lot more questions than we have answers for this team. I don't think we're loaded enough. I feel like we're going to lose a lot in free agency. And I don't know if they're going to be big players in free agency. And they're probably going to blame that on Prescott. Well, maybe you should have let him walk. I don't know what to tell you. You know, keep saying he's the guy, but what you're showing me isn't matching up with what you're saying. So, as long as Jerry Jones is the owner, I don't see us winning the Super Bowl. Wish I could say different. I hope every year for different, but he keeps letting me down every time. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Like and subscribe to help the channel, and we'll have plenty more content coming your way, guys. Take it easy, and I will see you on the next video, guys.